We got to do the double guns today. Bang! We are back for another YouTube live stream. In this video, I'm going to tell you how I made over $100,000, $130,000 to be exact, on UFC 297, which was the card that just went. I'm not only going to tell you how I won this money, I'm going to show you exactly what fights I won it on, and I'm going to give you a takeaway for each specific fight so you can make money the same way I have done in the future. I'm also going to give you a meta overall takeaway of the night and my MMA betting career thus far. I'm also going to be taking questions from live viewers. Any questions you have on MMA betting, making money betting on MMA, I'm not going to answer every question, but I will go through specific questions that are interesting that I think a lot of people can learn from, and I'll be answering them. And we'll recap the card. So it's going to be a fun live stream, a lot of money talk, a lot of fight talk. Dricus du Plessis, we got a new champion. So I'm very excited for it. Let's get straight into it. Shout out to everybody who is here live at the moment and everybody watching after we finish the live stream. So I'm going to bring up my screen and I'm going to go through exactly how I won this money. So I made a thread here, and most of you would have read this thread. I made this thread yesterday, and within 24 hours, it's got 46,000 views. So the thread's gone a little bit viral over Twitter, and it makes sense why, right? Because anybody winning $130,000 in sports betting, that's a big feat. A lot of people would be interested in that. A lot of people bet on sports, so a lot of people would want to know that. And then also, a lot of people love MMA, right? So anytime MMA fans seeing, damn, this guy's won so much money in MMA, it makes sense that the thread's gone a little bit viral, right? So we'll go straight through it. And first of all, shout out to everyone here. I want to address the comments. We got MMA Line Mover in the chat. Done no. We got Sean Hanning, bang, legendary night. My bankroll sure got fatter. Thank you. Yeah, Sean is one of the members of my tipping service, Lucrative MMA Betting. So yeah, your bankroll got fatter along with mine, bro. You're welcome. We're going to keep crushing it as we have done for the last 5 years. Small World Lifter is saying, shout out to James Blissett. Why do people keep falling for the Mike Malott versus Magny spot every time? Hype prospect to finish established vet. Yep, that does happen quite often. I often like to take the huge plus money on the underdog in those spots. Not saying I always do it. Sometimes I don't have the balls or I don't have the read to do it. But oftentimes I like doing that outside of the over. But I do like the over as well. The over is a decent look. Obviously happened in Magny's fight against Ian Gary as well. So yeah, man, that's a good angle. Well done. Bob is saying legendary night. It was a great start to the year for me too. Stuart, who's Stuart, bro? Let's go Elite Zone. Let's go. Elite Zone, stay winning. So let's get into it, boys. So I'll go through the thread and then we'll kind of pivot off that. So I said how I won $130,000 betting on UFC 297. So first off the bat, it was actually more than $130,000. I'll have to tally up the exact numbers. It was like 133, 4, 5 or something like that. Well, this is a more nice aesthetic round figure, right? Only a few times in my betting career have I surpassed 100K in profit in a single day, and UFC 297 was one of those days. So I have done this before. I have won more than $100,000 in a single day. That's because there's been days where I've had huge days on MMA. There's also been days where I've had huge days on other sports and overall combination, but there hasn't been many of them. I can probably count them on one hand, right? It's starting to become more often these days, but this is definitely, or this was one of the days where I surpassed 100,000. So I wrote here, in this thread, I'm going to break down exactly how I won this money while including a short takeaway for you on each winning bet. I'll also post bet slips in the thread, although I cannot include all of them because there's way too many. Yeah, so there's way too many bet slips for me to include every single bet slip that I placed for UFC 297. I have about 8 betting accounts that I use specifically for that event, and I have a lot more accounts than that. I have probably about 25 active accounts. Now, I don't use all of them at once. I actually never use all of them at once, but I do have 25 accounts that I have access to and I do use. And out of those, I used about 6 to 8 on UFC 297. And for those of you who are new-time listeners or new-time watchers of me, you may not know the differences between professional, full-time gambling and just normal gambling. So when you bet full-time professionally, you're going to have to get multiple accounts. You can't get all your money down on one singular account. So that's why I have like 6 to 8 accounts that I bet on for UFC 297. So I've included a lot of bet slips below, but I actually have a lot more bet slips as well. I just haven't been bothered to go through every single bet slip, every single betting account and get them. So, and also, and I'll give a little takeaway as well. You know, someone asked me this before, and I'm actually going to do a post about it later. So I actually have betting accounts that, maybe I shouldn't say this on stream. I've known people to have many betting accounts in different countries. Not saying that's me, but I've known people to do that. And to access those betting accounts, it's not super easy, right? It may not be easy. Maybe sometimes people are betting through their friends. Maybe sometimes people are using their friend's account. I'm not saying I do this, but people do this, right? So that's another reason why certain accounts may be not super easy to access at every point. Anyway, if you can read between the lines there, I'll move on. Flick versus Gordon. So this was the first fight of the night, and it could not have went any better. I had many bets on this fight. I had Flick money line. I actually bet Flick money line at plus 110. I was able to cash out on that bet for a slight loss and then bet a plus 180, which overall made me win a lot more money. So you can't always do that. And actually, there was some plus 110s I had that I wasn't able to cash out on. So I did also just play him at plus 110. But there was a couple of accounts where I was able to cash out or hedge and bet Jimmy Flick again at plus 180 and obviously earn a lot more money. So I've wrote here that the takeaway for this one is that sometimes the market is smoking crack. Stick to your guns. And what I mean by that, obviously, if you're an MMA gambler, you know. So Malcolm Gordon was a minus 120 favorite. I bet Flick at that line. And then Malcolm Gordon kept getting bet up drastically. It was extreme line movement. And I was actually I would say that I was very spooked by the line movement. That I was actually considering not adding to Jimmy Flick. And I actually didn't add to Jimmy Flick. But that's not only due to the fact that, I mean, I did bet him here, as you can see, at a better line. But I didn't add on Jimmy Flick, but that wasn't down to the fact that of the line movement. Maybe it influenced my decision a little bit. I can't, disagree with that. It probably did a little bit. But the staking system I have in place, it doesn't always lead me. It's not very malleable when line moves, because I do respect movement and obviously you have to take a stand. But if you've already placed the bet and then the line moves, and we're getting into the weeds a little bit here about my specific strategy for 2024 specifically, but I've done the data, I've run the data analysis. As you will know if you follow me, I'm very big on data analysis. And what I've found is that with the staking strategy that I'm employing, it's not really that beneficial for me to go against the grain and add on to my selections if the line moves against me, because I have factored in that line movement is usually sharp, especially in certain spots, right? So that's the reason I didn't really add on Jimmy Flick. Obviously, in this case, it would have worked out if I added on Jimmy Flick, but there's going to be many times where the line goes against us, where if we double down, we will lose that bet, right? So yeah, it looks great now adding on Jimmy Flick, but over the long term, which is what my data analysis allows me to look at, not just one specific fight between Gordon and Flick, I've noticed that going against the line movement and adding more and risking more money than I actually want to risk based on the staking strategy is not really conducive to any sort of long-term profit. Now, I do have some data analysis added onto that I want to look at, because there's certain things like if I bet on the favorite, but then he turns underdog, or if I bet on an underdog and he goes to a bigger underdog, or if I bet on the favorite, or if I bet on underdog and he turns to favorite, like if I should add more in that regard. I haven't done that data analysis. But yeah, long story short, overall, I was happy to not add anything more. But as you can see, it cashed here. So this is a $2,500 bet slip, and I won $7,000 there. Obviously, $7,000 is the overall figure. So I actually won 4.5. But I've just used $7,000 as the total because, first of all, I'm missing dozens of bet slips, which are not included in this total at all. So I actually won way more than the total says, but it's just easier for me to add up when I was using the calculator than to minus 250 from 7 and then get that number and add it on. So that's why I did that, because a few people commented saying, oh, but that's not the price. But I literally said that at the bottom. So people just don't read. So the next bet was Jazadavicius versus Cachoeira. I had tons of bets on Jasmine Jazadavicius. I had her in parlays. I had her finishing late. And I wrote here, I have only included a few bet slips, but all bets are predicated on her finishing late. Takeaway for this one is that our bets are in the hands of the ref as much as the fighter. So Jasmine Jazadavicius, $500 on her to win in round 3. It came back $4,700. Also $600 her to win in round 2 or 3, came back at $3,100. And then $50 on her to win in round 3. It came back at $475. And I had a bunch of her on Bet365 as well. And I had a bunch of her on a few different books. So, but I just added up this one here, which was 7.7K. So overall now that's 14.7K. I won a lot more money than this actually on Jasmine Jazadavicius, way more than 7K. I won closer to 20K on Jazz alone. And I wrote here, the takeaway for this is that our bets are in the hands of the ref as much as the fighter. What I mean by that is Jasmine was beating her ass badly. And I actually had a $30,000 swing on Jasmine not getting the TKO in round 3 because I bet her via TKO in round 3 at massive, massive prices. Obviously, she got the submission there. The referee did not want to finish it, right? The referee did not want to finish the fight. Or the referee didn't want to stop the fight. And I was watching that fight going like, this fight should have been stopped a long time ago. I was thinking maybe the referee bet the over 2.5 rounds, which does actually happen. Because the over 2.5 rounds was a decent price. You know, it was like minus 150 or something, which you don't really see in women's MMA a lot. So I have a sneaky suspicion that the referee may have bet Jasmine decision or fight goes to decision or something like that. Potentially, you know, I can't fully confirm that, but that definitely may be a possibility there. Because it was a very, very bad non-stoppage from the referee. Now, I will say that Jasmine wasn't hitting hard enough at times for it to be stopped, although it still should have been stopped many times, right? So we just have to remember that, you know, the referees are always in charge of our bets because we always think about the fighters, but we never really think about the referees. So it's just something to think of. Now, I'm not saying that it's going to change massively or process, but it is something to think of, you know, maybe the referees, maybe we have to think of the referees a little bit, right? Will the referee stop this fight? Now, it's very hard to do that. It's hard to cap. You don't know who's refereeing until the day of the fight. And then even when you don't know how, if they've had a bad day, a shit day, if they've been told to finish the fights or, you know what I mean? Like, you just don't know. But it's something worth talking about and thinking about anyway. More information is better than no information, right? So we'll move on. But I will speak to a few people. Small World Lift is saying, one question I have is how to cap some of the invisible intangibles present in the fight itself. What do you look for when capping footwork and head movement, for example? Seems to puzzle some fighters. So, I mean, that's very specific, right? Footwork and head movement, because intangibles are, there's a lot more than that, right? Footwork and head movement, for example, you just need to know how to read striking. It's really easy, right? A lot of people can read grappling, but they can't read striking. A lot of people can read striking, but they can't read grappling. I pride myself in being able to read both, but I also believe that I can read striking a lot better. And that's because I've been a striker and I've done striking martial arts for many, many more years than I've done grappling arts. I have trained grappling, sambo, wrestling, all of that consistently, but I've trained striking a lot more, right, from a much younger age. And I've actually competed in striking competitions, Muay Thai, kickboxing. So I think I can read striking a lot better than grappling. And it just comes down to reading striking, really. It's not really, you know, you're saying, how do you cap it in? You just need to know how to notice it. You need to know how to notice it. And it just comes with experience, right? Like, I can't give you, okay, this is how you know if the person's footwork is good. I mean, that comes from years and years in the gym and just an understanding of the overall meta game of MMA. Now, I'm not saying you have to train martial arts because I don't believe you do. I think people get very caught up. Like, a few people get like geeky and nerdy and caught up in the fact that, oh, if you fight, you're much better at gambling, right? Like Derek Brunson. But Derek Brunson, like, I don't want to say anything bad about him, but the guy knows nothing about gambling, right? And that's evident by his tweets and what he says and by the long parlays he makes and all of that type of stuff, right? And so I know a lot of fighters, professional fighters. I train with a lot. They're shit at gambling. They ain't got a clue. One of my best mates is 8-0 amateur at the moment. I'm pretty sure we're going to see him in the UFC fairly soon. He's not a good gambler. You know, he's not great at predicting fights. He thinks he is, and we have a laugh about it, but he ain't good, right? But he knows way more about MMA than me, right? He can demonstrate it a lot better than me. So I'm not saying you have to train martial arts. I do think it gives you a better understanding of specifically footwork and head movement, like you're saying. If you're definitely just not going to train for whatever reason, if you know that for a fact, you're injured or you got many kids and you don't have time or whatever it is, if you're definitely not going to train, then it just comes with experience watching fights, bro. You're going to be able to break down footwork and head movement a lot better. There's no mathematical equation to do it. It's just experience. 108 units this weekend on UFC and NFL. Absolute madness. I made round robin bets on round 2 and refinishes. Let's go. Grayspan is also in my tipping service. So shout out to you because we've been doing well. I'm here specifically so James can flex on us and not feel bad. Let's go, bro. You ain't seen me flexing yet, boys. Like, you ain't seen me flexing at all. Wait till I bust out the Aston Martin and the Rolex diamonds. That's when I'm going to start flexing. But we cooling at the moment. James Krause had control of my sportsbook. Damn, rest in peace to that guy. I don't know what happened with him. But I hit you up early asking if I should do it flick. Yep, and you shouldn't. MMA line mover. People don't know shit about fighting. That's why the market sucks in MMA. It's true. Everyone told me Drickers couldn't win a decision and Shaw would never slow down. Exactly. I actually bet Drickers via decision. I bet him in a parlay. I bet him in a long shot prop bet for the Elite Zone. All Elite Zone members got access to that bet. I actually got it at plus 900. I tipped it at plus 600 for fairness, even though it was kind of dumb because it was over 600 in most books. But I tipped from that bet online. And we played like a round prop. Drickus round 1, round 2 in decision, and then Sean 3, 4, 5. So overall, we broke even on those bets, but we still did cash the Drickus decision. What book allows you to bet takedown props? Many books allow you to do that. The main book that I bet on takedown props is Ned's and Labrooks, but there are other books that do it as well. I got Neil Magny round 3 finished, but only put 0.1 unit on it. Was a profitable night thanks to your tips. You're welcome, bro. Yo, James, you made me so much fucking money this weekend, dude. I love you. I love you too, brother. Let's do it again. So we'll carry on with the stream. Robertson versus Viana. This was a huge one. This was a big one, boys. This is one of the biggest cash I ever had. One of the biggest cashes I've ever had on an MMA fight. So shout out to Gillian Robertson. You already know that I'm going to send a care package to Gillian Robertson. I'm already in the process of contacting her and her team, or her team, whoever answers, and I'm going to send her some money, like I do to a lot of the fighters when I win. I don't advertise it all that often. I've advertised it a couple of times more recently, but usually when I have big wins, I give that money away. Now, I either give it away to charities, to homeless people in my country, the one country I live, or I send it to the fighters directly. I obviously give money to my family as well, but that's like a non-negotiable. That I don't even count that as giving money away because that's just a thing that I do. So yeah, at the moment we're trying to get in touch with Gillian. We're seeing if she responds, then I'll send her a care package. Like I actually did with Jazza Davicius not too long ago. So in Jazza Davicius' last fight against, I can't remember what fight it was. I think it might have been the Maverick fight. When Jazza Davicius won the Maverick fight, and I'll see if I can get it up actually. I think I posted this on, or I might not have even posted this online, guys, but I may have posted it. I'm going to have a look. So when Jazza Davicius won the fight against Miranda Maverick, I sent money to one of her charities because I contacted her. I said, yo, you won me a lot of money. Like, do you want this money? Can I send it to you? So I've actually looked on, I'm going to try to get this for you guys. I've actually looked on Twitter and I never actually posted this up. Which I do quite often. I send money to fighters and I never post it up. And yeah, I did that to Jazza Davicius. Let me see if I can get this so I can show you. It's funny because I actually did it to Miranda Maverick as well. I helped Miranda Maverick pay for her wedding. So congrats to Miranda Maverick. She won me a ton of money at one point. Jazza Davicius, is it here? If I can't find it, I'll just continue because I don't want to bore you guys. I think it's here. Yeah, so I'll bring this up here, guys. I don't know if you can see it. Where are we at? I got so many tabs open, I'm lost, boys. Oh, here we are. All right, so can you see this? Yeah, so Jazza the Vicious, she used to, I don't know if she still does, but she used to volunteer. Why am I not sharing? She used to volunteer at a youth. Here we go. She used to volunteer at a youth center. I don't know if she still does. And as you can see here, back in June of 2023, I actually donated $500. So that's 500 Canadian dollars because she's from Canada, to the Raft, which is a Niagara, I don't know how you say that, Niagara resource service for youth. So it's basically a youth center in Jazza the Vicious's hometown where she used to work. And as you can see here, in honor of Jasmine Jazza the Vicious. And yeah, I sent them $500. So I actually never posted this on Twitter, which is quite funny. It's quite funny. I never posted it and I'm showing it to you now. But yeah, I often do that. And I will be doing that with Gillian Robertson because she won me money right after Jasmine. Robert saying, were any of these bets posted before the card? Every single bet was posted before the card. Of course. I'm pretty sure I've seen you in here before, bro. So you know me. You know how I work. You know that I have a tipping service that I post every single bet before the card. You're also on my YouTube channel, so you know that I have YouTube live streams every single week. And on those live streams, we gave out an insane amount of bets. Like Cannabis Connoisseur is saying he's buying a car because of my bets. So I don't know how you don't know that, bro. Maybe I'm getting the wrong guy, but I'm pretty sure I've seen you in here before and you know who I am, but maybe not, bro. Cannabis is saying, we're literally going to buy a new car today. We're looking at a Mercedes-Benz, getting right now, setting up a test drive. My guy, you better post a picture of that on Twitter to me. Please do that, bro. Please send me a picture of that because that'll be mad epic. Are you doing all UFC every Saturday on live? Don't know what that means at all, bro. Dixon saying he thinks you're Derek Brunson posting parlays after. I know, man. Come on, bro. Put some respect on my name, bro. I've been doing this shit for years. I'm be real with you, though, James. I like your Cantona pick, but I picked Armful because well done, bro. All right. Anyway, we'll carry on. So this was a huge one, guys. One of my biggest cashes of all time. Gillian Robinson finished late. I had to finish in round 2, finish in round 3, get a KO in round 2, KO in round 3, all of that stuff. Both came through. I won almost $50,000 on Gillian, but only a few slips totaling 37,000 KR here. So you can see some mad slips here, boys. Look at this one. I put $1,000 on it and it returned $26,000, bro. $1,000 to $26,000. These are some other slips, some smaller slips, $600 into 2.2 grand, 50 into 275, 25 into 650. What else we got? 100 into 26, 250 into 5750. So yeah, there's 37.4K of total slips here. It was a big cash, boys. It was a big cash. I didn't write a takeaway here, but I don't have too much on the takeaway on this one, guys. Honestly, it's like, I guess the takeaway for me in this one is that the bookies were drastically sleeping at the wheel when they priced Gillian's TKO line so different from her submission line. Like, I know she usually gets submissions, but the ground and pound is live. She's put it on girls with ground and pound before. It's not like she's never thrown ground and pound. She's thrown ground and pound regularly throughout her career. Now, she doesn't have great ground and pound. I think it's decent, though. I think it's decent. And I just didn't see why they was pricing her TKO prop so huge. And on top of that, Gillian's like, I didn't understand why the round 2 and round 3 props were insane. I mean, you see here, guys, like, I think I got something crazy. Oh, this one's a better one. So I got TKO in round 2. I got $26 for this. 25 to 1, right? Plus 2,500. For her to get a KO in round 2? I just didn't understand it. So I guess the takeaway is that oftentimes the bookies will price the TKO and the submission lines way too inaccurate, way too wide. We saw it on Tatsuro Taira's fight with Carlos Hernandez, which was last year. I think last card of the year, maybe. And I bet on Tatsuro Taira in that spot. I also bet on him to get a KO or inside the distance. I think it may have been a KO. I can't remember. But I definitely, you know what? I think I just passed on the TKO. Or maybe I played it. But I bet on the inside the distance instead of the sub on purpose because I knew that he could knock him out. But you know what? I think that was one where I just didn't, like, I didn't bet it, but I almost bet it. I was so close, but I already bet his money line and I already bet inside the distance. So I just was like, I don't want to expose myself here. But, you know, that was another prime example of when there's a submission threat and now they just make their TKO line so much higher than their submission. But if you're good at submissions, oftentimes that opens up the TKO, right? And if you're good at submissions, you're probably going to be dominant from top position. You're probably going to be in full mount or side control or something, which again opens up the TKO because the ground and pound finish. And it's the exact same vice versa. Oftentimes when a guy has a lot of finishes on the ground from ground and pound, they will price their subline so wide, like Vitor Petrino. But we saw that he got a submission against Prachnio. And again, vice versa, oftentimes a fighter can hurt their opponent on the feet and then latch up a submission, right? Like Gabriel Bonfim does. Gabriel Bonfim has all submissions, but the guy knocks almost everyone out before he submits them, right? He does that a lot where he hurts them. So you just have to always be looking at it and saying that the TKO and sublines are often, you know, wide. And that was something that I capitalized on here. It was a takeaway, but it was also a going in away, right? Or a going in because I knew it before. That's why I bet on it. So it was $50,000 I won on Gillian Robertson. So shout out to you because you're responsible for one of my biggest cashes ever. But we're going to speak about a bigger cash later, which is crazy that they came on the same card. It was just a perfect card, guys. The next fight was Tavares versus City. I was on the dog for this fight and felt like it was value regardless of the scorecards, which potentially should have gone in the way of City. I won 6K overall, but a 2.4 bet slip is shown, so I'll use that as the running total. Again, I won more money that is shown than here. A big takeaway from this fight is that recency bias is real. Yeah, so I thought plus 155 on Ramon and Tavares was very good. I feel like plus 155 was a good bet. I feel like the bet was closer to a pick'em because although the fight went to a decision, I do think that there's lots of spots where Tavares actually finishes City. You know, City just seemed very, very tough. And I know he's tough anyway. I knew that going in. But I do think that Tavares has the power to finish him at times. I mean, he dropped him. He wobbled him all over the place many times. And he's clearly the harder puncher. So I do think he can finish him. I do think that Tavares deserves to be an underdog, but I wouldn't make him plus 155. I would make him about plus 120 or something. Maybe City a slight favorite at minus 120. Obviously, that's not accounting for juice, but you get what I'm trying to say, right? Minus 120 to plus 120 is fairly accurate in my opinion. I felt like we had slight value on Ramon Tavares. And also going in, I felt like it was the right bet because I felt like the recency bias was driving the line. And I believe that that was the case, right? In the first fight, the line was the same. But in the first 3 minutes of their first fight, we saw that the line should not have been City minus 150, in my opinion, or minus 170, minus 200, in my opinion, right? And I felt like the knockout was driving the line to be the same because Tavares was kind of piecing him up before. And the big thing about this that probably no one's speaking on is that City couldn't get grappling going at all. At all. And a big thing coming into that fight was that City may get grappling going, but he couldn't do it at all. And according to the first fight, I had a sneaky suspicion that he might not be able to do it because he shot once or twice in the first fight, in the first 2 minutes, and Tavares shrugged them off easy. And that's what he done for the entire fight. So I just felt like the recency bias was driving the line a little bit. I'm not saying it was an amazing value, but I do think there was, like, you want the plus money in that spot. You want plus 155 in a razor close fight all day long, right? And that's what happened. Sean Woodson versus Jourdain, another underdog cash here. Jourdain has always had problems with strikers that can shift angles shift their footwork, which is like what my man was saying earlier. This is kind of the intricacies of fighting. Because I know striking, I knew that Sean Woodson could shift angles. He feints well. And I know that Jourdain struggles with that. It's not because I read a book saying Sean Woodson has good footwork, right? It's not because I read a book saying Jourdain can't fight against someone who can feint. It's just because I've watched the game for very long. I know what a good feint looks like. I know what shifting angles look like. And I can just see it, right? So that's kind of how I capitalized on this one. I feel like not a lot of people were on Sean Woodson here, but I was. 1.4K on him to return 3.8K there, and 250 on him to return 6.7K on here. Another one who actually bet more on Sean Woodson. I didn't bet too much more on him. I bet like another $2,000 overall. But there we go. Market was just all wrong here. Takeaway is not to ignore stylistics over intangibles. Yeah, so I don't know if you follow me for long, guys, but if you haven't, I give out tons of content. And one of the pieces of content that I've given out specifically recently was that there's only 3 ways to cap a fight. There's only 3 things that you need to look at when you're trying to pick a fight winner. And those 3 things are stylistics, statistics, and intangibles, right? Those are the only 3 things you need to look at. Now, stylistics are things like, how did this fighter match up with the other fighter? Is the fighter a wrestler? Is the guy shit at doing takedowns? Whatever it is. Statistics are, has the fighter got a reach advantage? As a fighter older than the other fighter? Are they coming off a layoff? That sort of stuff. Takedown attempts per 15 minutes, takedown defense, all of that. And then intangibles are stuff that we can't see from a naked eye, but that are there, you know? And there's a few crossovers here. You might say a few of these things you can see with the naked eye, but stuff like career trajectories, right? Stuff like surgeries, right? We might not be able to see that looking at the stylistics or statistics, but they are intangibly there. One of the intangibles, or like a lot of the intangibles were on the side of Jourdain here. In my opinion, he's got more heart, more hunger. I think he pushes through fatigue better. I think he's got better cardio. You know, all of those things can kind of be like durability, like all of these things kind of blur the lines into the intangible side. But I feel like everybody was looking at that sort of stuff, and no one was really looking at stylistics of the fight or the statistics. Woodson had something crazy like a 10-inch reach advantage, 5-inch height or something ridiculous like that, 3-inch height, 8-inch reach. And stylistically, it was a terrible matchup. He was a good striker who can feint well, who pumps out a lot of volume, who won't let Charles Jourdain get into his groove, who, if anything, may have the grappling upside over Jourdain. Jourdain ain't really going to shoot, even though he did, but he couldn't take him down because he ain't a good wrestler. So I just felt like the stylistics were massively on the side for Woodson. You was giving me plus 170. Right? I actually bet at plus 150, but then I also bet at plus 170 because I was able to bet more. So yeah, man, it's just insane, and that was a good takeaway from me. We'll answer some of the chat, and then we'll get back to it. Or is it next UFC? Because I'm watching. I don't understand your question, bro. If you're asking me that, are you doing all UFC every Saturday online? Oh, okay, I think, and apologies if it's not your native language. I'm not trying to be rude. I genuinely don't understand what you mean. I think I've worked it out now with the other context you've given, though. You're basically saying, do I do a live stream every week for all the UFCs, not just the pay-per-views? Yes, bro. I do them every single week, not for the pay-per-views, only for every single card. He thinks you're Derek Bunsen putting parlays only after they. Is that what he does? Join the device. Join the service, Robert. Then you'll know. Robert Saladino, my man. Join the service, my guy. Bro, you got me. So you're going to send a picture of the Mercedes. I appreciate that. Join the service, Robert. Then you will see that we don't give bets out after. I was hella mad when those people were chatting shit. Who's that, bro? Who was I chatting about? Sorry, I can't remember who I was chatting about. Do you think the market is overreacting on Volkanovski? I'll get to that in the stream based on that one. I'm not really going to talk about it now. Literally no reason to address them. All the real gamblers know that we hit every year with you. You people just hate because they aren't in the group and they missed out on a huge night. Was people chatting shit about me winning? Bro, like, let them talk, man. It honestly doesn't affect me at all. In life, yeah, you get people who are positive and who will become winners. And then you get people who are negative that will become losers. Also, in life, you have the black and the white. You have the dark and the light. You have the negative and the positive. There can never be positivity without there also being negativity. It is a law of the universe. I'm very in touch with the universe. I'm very in touch with the earth. I believe that there is a universal force guiding us as humans, as a human race. And I'm telling you now that without negativity, there will be no positivity. So in this regard, I get tons of positivity. Every single comment is positive in this chat right now. Even yourself, right? Like 99% of comments I get is positive. DMs, people telling me that they've changed their life. Yesterday, someone messaged me saying that I have won them so much money, they're paying off their fiance's wedding, right? 40,000 US dollars, they're paying it off because of the night we had UFC 297. Like, I get this shit all the time. I can't get all of this positive without there also being negative. It's literally a law of the universe. So, and all of them guys are losers anyway. So you just have to brush it off, bro. Like, it doesn't matter, bro. Like, it is literally a law of the universe. Complex Cash is saying he made $27 off 20 cents. Next time I'm putting more money. James, the realist in the business. Have you been keeping track of the Elite Zone and YouTube Parlay Show? Yes, I have, bro. Yes, I have. And I'm going to actually bring that up in a minute. And I'm going to show you. Now, I wasn't doing it last year, which is a big regret of mine because we cashed big last year. What a flex that would be to say how much we would have won last year on the Elite Zone. It's absolute insanity. Honestly, I should start making them real bets. But I'm not. I'm going to keep them in the Elite Zone. I mean, they are real bets. I do place money on them, but you get what I'm trying to say, track bets and stuff. But no, I'm going to keep them in the Elite Zone. I'm actually going to bring up the spreadsheet right now and show you the fun props and parlays tracker that we have. So I've got it right here, boys. Have a look at this. So this is the parlays from the Parlay Madness show, right? Which is the parlay show that I give out. Now, this is this year. So we've only won 2 and we've lost however many. But this is long shot parlays. So we only need to win 1 out of 50 to cash big. Look at this. So our ROI is 362%. Our win percent, we're only winning 15% of our bets, but our ROI is 362%. It's absolute insanity. Total units won or lost, ignore that because that's just based on 0.1 units. I average 0.1 to 0.2 units on these bets. So I just wrote 0.1, but you can easily change them to 1 to, change the units won or lost. But everyone's going to bet different amount on this. The stake's not important. What's important is the ROI because that's how you can tell how much you would have earned. The ROI is 362%. So, I mean, I don't know if you guys know about ROI, but it basically doesn't exist, right? So the best ROI for any sports bettor is like 10%. It's not really much higher than that over a long-term basis. So there's 362% there. But it's only been 2 events, so don't worry. It's not going to continue forever. But we're going to keep cashing because we did all last year. Long shot parlays, which is, again, found in the Elite Zone of my website. If you want to sign up and get access to this, you can on the Elite Zone. We are also in heavy profit. The ROI for this zone is 189%. So yeah, man. Yeah, I have been tracking, and there they are. Did you shit your pants when the ref raised Jordan's hand? Yes, I most certainly did. Massively. On your Twitter when they said post the slips. Oh, yeah. Someone came up, and they do this all the time. It's so hilarious. I've literally been posting bet slips from 2020, right? Or 2019, when I started all this content shit. Literally the first year I came in the game, I was posting bet slips. It's still up right now. You can go see bet slips from that year. But people still ask me, 5 years into it, where's your bet slips? Oh my God, legit brain dead. Like literally no brain cells at all. Not a brain cell between them. But, we had fun with the trolls. So then I retweeted him and I was like, what? You mean like these bet slips? And then I just posted like fucking $30,000 worth of bet slips. And then I think he commented like, yeah, that's what I mean. Like, shut up, man. Like, bro, I love the internet though. I always fuck around with these people. Most legit service. Definitely join. Easy, honest money. Bang. That's my man Raj right there. He's telling you what to do to sign up. Link in the bio if you want to sign up. Not only did I, Remdog, someone else is saying, not only did I make money this past weekend, I also saved money due to the lesson you've been dropping since the beginning of the year. Bro, you're welcome, man. I appreciate the comment. I appreciate you saying thanks. And I appreciate that comment because that is one of my big goals. If you don't want to sign up with me, you don't have to. I don't care. I'm just showing you $100,000 worth of bet slips. You think I need your $100 a month? I don't need it, right? If you want to sign up and you want the service and you want to earn money from it, then sweet, we got you. We can help you make money. But I don't need $100 a month at all, right? So what I actually like doing is, even if guys don't sign up to me, I like just helping them anyway. So these messages are some of my favorites because maybe the guy ain't signed up. Maybe he has. I don't know if you signed up or not, Remdog. But even if you haven't, you've still saved money due to the lessons I've been dropping for free. So, man, I appreciate that, man. And I'm blessed to be able to do that. Evloev versus Allen. I had Evloev money line here in a parlay. I also smashed some same game parlays, SGPs, with his takedown props and method of victory. Since Jillian won me 50K in the fight before up here, I also I had a bunch of parlays here at this stage. At this stage, we won like long shot parlays and shit like that. We won Jazadavicius to win in round 3, which I've got some slips of that somewhere. It's insane. Jazadavicius to win. I didn't even include any of these parlays here, which were massive, massive profit for me. I won Jazadavicius to win in round 3 and Jillian Robinson to win in round 2. That parlay already hit. That was a massive hit for me. I can't remember exactly how much I hit it for, but it was a lot. Since Jillian won me 50K and I had a bunch of parlays here, I also added Evloev decision at a bunch of places. The takeaway is that Movsar won't be denied. Yeah, so I saw a lot of people moaning about the decision, and I mean, maybe I'm biased, I guess, so I won't speak on it, but I don't really understand what they were seeing. I mean, yeah, it was a competitive fight, but Evloev kind of worked him. Evloev kind of beat the shit out of him, to be honest. He bust him open, hit him with a clean head kick, the elbow, like, kind of beat the shit out of him for, I think it was round 2. I think it was like, he beat the fuck out of him. And then obviously round 1 and 3 were closer, but Evloev got like something stupid, like 3 takedowns in each round or 2 takedowns in the first round, 3. It was just, yeah, I don't know. Movsar Evloev by decision or technical decision. I put 1.2K, returned 2.2K there. I also put 2.8K on this same game parlay to return 6.4K. I also put $1,000 just on him to get 4 takedowns. That returned another $1,000, 2K. So yeah, that's another 10K of bet slips right here, even though I had a lot more because I bet him with decision other places. And I actually had the parlay there, which is not included here. So again, more. But at this point, boys, we're up 63. I've shown you 63K worth of bet slips, probably like 40K profit. And like I said, at this point, I'm up like 80K, 90K already. But there's only 63K of total right here. So yeah, massive. And boys, we're on to the big one. This is the big one. This was the big one. I think this is the biggest cash of my life, boys, on any one fight. Let's take a moment for Neil Magny. We're gonna have a moment of silence for Neil Magny. Please join me in a moment of silence for Neil, the Haitian sensation Magny. Thank you, Neil. Moment of silence up. I hope you joined with me on Moment of Silence. Grace Banded. You know what I might do? I'm put it on my Google Calendar right now, boys. I'm gonna name. And boys, I want everyone to retweet this and tag me. Please, everybody please, everybody tweet this. Don't retweet it. Tweet this and tag me, right? I'm gonna actually tweet it as well. What date was the UFC on? Was it 22nd of January or was it 21? I think it was 21. Can you tell me? Because I'm officially naming January the 21st or 22nd Neil Magny Day. I hereby declare, boys, you can see this right now. Let's write this tweet out together. I'm going to bring this up. I hereby declare January. Boys, why are you fucking me up? Someone's saying 21st and then someone's saying 20th. Come on, boys. 20th. Okay, 20th. I hereby declare, Raj, that's that New Zealand timing, bro. I know that. I hereby declare January 20th Nil Magny Day. Boys, I want everybody to retweet that. I want everybody to like that, comment that, retweet that. And also, tweet it out yourself. And I'm going to tag me in the tweet and I'm going to retweet it. We've got a movement going on here. January the 20th is Nil Magny Day. And let me tell you exactly why it's Nil Magny Day. Where are we at? Here we're at. All right. So let's scroll down, boys. This was insane. Boys, my biggest cash ever, boys. My biggest cash ever. LSV is saying, good job, sir. Hopped in to congratulate you. One of the best cards I've ever seen for somebody. Have a blessed year. Thank you, brother. I hope you did well too. I appreciate that, my man. Bulo is saying, what should be our bankroll amount if we want to join your service? Everybody's got a different bankroll, bro. I can't answer that for you. What I usually say is that minimum you want about $20 to $25 per unit to make it worthwhile. So that would be a bankroll of $2,000 to $2,500. But the bigger you can have it. Now, obviously, if it's pounds, it's different. You know, pounds you can do it less, like £1,500 or £1,000 or whatever the conversion is. But obviously, the more money you have in your bankroll, the more money you're going to earn. So what I always say is, even if you don't have that much money now, your bankroll will increase if we win bets, right? Because that's what happens with your bankroll. It increases over time. It's compound interest because it keeps compounding. And then that means your unit size will increase. And also, when you're first starting out, I always say that you should be adding to your bankroll with your wages. You should be trying to get your bankroll as big as possible, right? Because if you do have an edge over the bookmakers, then you want to exploit that edge with more money. So, yeah, I don't want to go into the weeds here about bankrolls and stuff, but that's my overall thoughts. Boys, the big one, Nil Magny Day. January the 20th is Nil Magny Day. Magny versus Malott. This was the big one, which is crazy to say after the Jillian 50K win. I won 50K on Jillian, but somehow this one was bigger. I've been trying to fade Mallet for a while, and I think last night you saw why. I had Magny Moneyline and Magny on around 6 different accounts. Hammer spot. Hammer spot. Takeaway is that there is big profit waiting for those who can see the intricacies of fighting. Again, I won way more on Magny than what is showed, but I have included $44,700 worth of wins below. So just addressing a little bit of this. I've been trying to fade Mallet for a while, right? I've actually bet against Mallet in every single one of his fights. And I have lost 4 and won 1. But guess what? I have won so much money on fading Mike Malott. Mike Malott may be my most profitable fade ever. But I've only won on his fights once and I've lost 4. How could that be? How could that be? It's because we're betting on massive underdogs. It's because we're betting on round props. It's because I had a read and I stuck to my read. And it took balls to bet against Mike Malott this weekend, right? It took a lot of balls because Nil Magny, that guy looked washed as fuck in his last fights. But recency bias is real, and I could see the intricacies that Mike Malott was not what it seemed. Because that's the biggest takeaway here. The takeaway is that there is big profit for those who can see the intricacies of fighting. And I don't want to go too in depth, but I do want to mention something, boys. 99% of people cannot see the intricacies of fighting. 99% of people cannot. My man, Line Movement, said it earlier, right? People don't know shit about fighting. Floyd Mayweather said it once upon a time. People don't know shit about boxing. And it's very, very true. People don't know shit about boxing or fighting. If you've been in the MMA scene for a while, if you've trained MMA, if you've fought striking, grappling disciplines, if you've been around gyms, if you've watched MMA for your life, if you've watched MMA for 10 years, if you bet on it, if you watch it every single week, eventually there's going to come a point in your life. I don't know if everyone will realize it, but there will come a point where you can see small intricacies of fighting that 99% of the market cannot see. One that I saw is when Robert Whittaker beat Vettori, which was a post of mine that went viral. I said Robert Whittaker looked a little bit washed against Marvin Vettori, and that post went viral, and everybody commented on that post. Just scroll down on my on my Twitter timeline, and you can see it. Everybody on that post called me an idiot, called me insane, called me crazy, but I was right because Robert Whittaker looked career worst in his next fight. Right? All I said is that Robert Whittaker is past his prime now. He's not in his prime. Everyone said I'm absolutely insane. It's the worst take of all time. Actually, MMA Dumb Tweets, which is a account that has like 20K followers or something, commented on that and basically implied that this was a dumb tweet. And he posted up all the dumb tweets of Twitter. So out of all of the dumb tweets on Twitter, he commented on mine. But that's why they're not going to earn $1 million from sports betting like me. That's why they didn't earn $130,000 like me. That's why they didn't earn $60,000, $70,000, $80,000 from one fight like me. Because they cannot see the intricacies as well as me. That is a fact. I ain't saying it to flex. It is a fact. Now, one of the intricacies I thought is that Mallet is not a fighter. He's a quitter. His cardio ain't good. His striking defense ain't good. And when he gets put in a bad position, he ain't going to like it. And I think that we have to keep on fading him, especially late. So I did it. Neil Magny money line. Neil Magny to win in round 3. £250 to £8,500. That's over $10,000 in US dollars. Neil Magny, £3,250 into £13,000. That's coming up to 20 grand. 3,800 on Magny to win $15,000. 500 on Magny to win $8,000. Altogether, we're talking 44.7K. And this is nowhere near all of the bet slips. I had bet slips on that. I've posted other bet slips of this fight on Twitter already. I had Magny to win in round 2 and round 3, like a combination bet. I had more Magny money line. I had way more Magny money line than just one bet. I had Magny money line on multiple books. I had Magny in a parlay with Jasmine fight to not go. Like, I won a lot of money on this fight, boys. Like, a lot of money. I ain't done individual calculations of every individual fight, because a lot of them also are in parlays and stuff, but I won a lot more money than 44.7K that you're seeing here. So, yeah, man, like, this was the biggest win of my career. Today is Neil Magny Day. Oh, sorry. I'm going to retweet everyone who said that, by the way, as well. January 20th is Neil Magny Day. I'm going to repost that. Henceforth. Yeah, that's a jokes one, Grace Pan. Thanks for the cash. I hereby declare January 20th, Neil Magny Day. January 20th shall be known as Neil Magny Day henceforth from Grace Band. That's funny. Where's all the other people posting Neil Magny Day, boys? Come on, man. Maybe he didn't win as much money as me on him, but like, the guy deserves to be hailed right now. Brandon's saying he couldn't bet Mallet at the price he was, even though he thought Manu was value all day. Yeah, maybe Mallet does more win often than not. That's the variance, isn't it? And it was our day. Exactly, bro. We don't bet on who we think is going to win. We don't bet on who we think is going to win, right? Like, we never do that. You know, it's so funny because I put out a video, and I do this every week, right? And I put out a breakdown video of the fight, but like a very small one or a quick one, you can say, right? And the breakdown video I did was the Mike Malott versus Neil Magny. And I made a prediction. I didn't say who I'm going to bet. I said that the line's wide, first of all. I said that I don't want to pick Malott here, but I said ultimately I think Malott wins the fight. And it's so funny because so many people after were commenting on that video. And obviously these are not gamblers. These are like just random MMA fans, right? They're all commenting like, oh, you know, oh, you're so dumb. Magny won. Someone commented Black Power. I was just laughing. I was like, it's so funny because I won like $60,000, $70,000 on Neil Magny. And everyone's calling me an idiot for picking Mike Malott on the video. So that's literally what it comes down to, what you just said, Brandon Van. Like, we don't bet on who we think is going to win. Who cares? Who cares what Mike Malott, if Mike Malott wins, you know, more than 50% of the time? Like, it doesn't matter, right? He was massively, massively overvalued in that spot. Minus 400 is ridiculous. The guy quit in the first bad position. What if he got in a bad position in round 2? Right? Like, I mean, you don't know how it's going to go. Maybe he doesn't win that fight more often than not. Maybe every time he gets in a bad position, he quits. Right? So it's like, even though I do believe that that's the case, like, he probably wins it more than, he's probably better than minus 110. Guy ain't minus 400. And that's why we bet it. And the writing was on the wall, boys. I didn't win this bet by accident. But yeah, man, this was amazing. I knew Mallet lost when he started throwing up leg locks. The guy, he was quitting, man. Like, Line Mover said something good. I saw one of his tweets. He said that Mallet probably never, ever does a leg lock in training, but cardio makes a coward out of everyone. And that's what it was there, man. The cardio was done. He was tired. He was feeling the pace, even though there was no pace, and he quit. That's what happened, man. Shout out to him. Shout out to him. The guy is a warrior. The guy is a warrior, right? He is an MMA fighter who is fighting at the highest level. But the fact is that he quit in that fight. He didn't want any more. That is a fact. I don't like to disrespect people like this who are getting in there and fighting, because I could never fight at that level. I'm nowhere near good enough to fight at that level. I've fought at a much lower level, and it's not fucking easy. I get gassed badly. I've been super gassed in fights. Barely surviving. Just fully gassed, just running on heart, right? So I can never fight at the level Mallet does. So for that reason, I don't like to ever disrespect these guys. But the fact of the matter is, the guy quit, man, and I could see that he might quit before, and that's why I bet on it. So yeah, man, big cash for me. Jesus, you wanted Magny to win so bad, but it was so close. 30 more seconds and you would have lost that. Exactly, bro. But guess what? On another day, 30 seconds before that, Magny would have stopped him. And that's why we bet on these massive lines, bro. So we can't look at it and go 30 seconds, because how many times I've bet on a massively wide line and I've missed by 30 seconds, right? Like, so this time I cashed by 30 seconds, but that time I missed by 30 seconds. And there's a reason why I bet round 3, brother. There's a reason why I didn't bet the under 2.5. Or there's a reason why I didn't bet round 2. I bet round 3 because I knew round 3 late he's going to be on there finishing him. So I saw the future in this one, boys. Crazy, only 54 live watching this. You would think if someone was telling people how to make 130K, they would pay attention. Yeah, that's facts, bro. That is facts. Shout out to you, man. At the end of the day, it's good, because that just means 54 people got all the knowledge and these other motherfuckers don't. Yeah, the biggest takeaway for this one, guys, for me and for you, is that, like, you got to stick to your guns. If you believe that someone is a fade, and I actually made a video on this, which I'm making a MMA betting mentorship, which will be released within the next 2 weeks. I did a video on this, and what I said is that if you've got a fighter that you're fading, there's a reason why you're fading them. But you have to be very careful, because maybe you're just not good at reading their style. But if you believe in yourself, which I believe in myself, I believe that when I was betting against Malott and everyone was calling me stupid, and someone, like, everyone called me dumb when I was fading Malott. For me, everyone called me dumb when I bet on Neil Magny. A few people called me dumb, right? But everybody called me stupid when I bet against Malott and I lost, right? And maybe I was stupid, but maybe I wasn't. Maybe Malott just hit his win condition. Maybe Malott would have been broken if he didn't finish those fights. And maybe he would finish those fights most of the time, but maybe not. Maybe he just had a good run, right? And I believed in myself and I stuck to my guns, and it obviously paid off. So, bang. All right, we're going to move on now. James, in all seriousness, Magny's next fight is going to be a killer because the UFC is posed. Magny derailed He derailed the Canadian hype train. Next fight, Magny fight, I'm betting the farm against him. Yeah, it depends on the line, bro. Let's see the line, man. I hope Magny loses his entire purse to his ex-wife. Bro, come on, man. He cost you a fat bag. Bro, he's got to do it. He's in there. He's got to fight for himself, man. Brandon Van is saying it wasn't like Magny was some untested newcomer. There was definitely a path. Exactly, bro. Easy, man. So easy after it happens, right? Good shit, James. Fuck yeah. Love to see it. Sticking to your guns is right. Those not watching can stay pause. Exactly, bro. We got the secret sauce here. People are arrogant. Just because they can't do it, they refuse to believe others can, instead of shutting up and listening so they can prove. Very true, bro. Because others haven't made this much money, because others haven't been able to do what others do, they kind of just critique it. And I'm actually gonna post up a Conor McGregor tweet that I found just because I come on a live stream. I actually wrote the tweet up, but then I remembered that I was late for the live, so I just put it in the drafts. I'll actually tweet it right up after. But Conor McGregor does an interview with Ariel Helwani, and he says, like, you know, when people are doing well, There's a certain set of people that will be motivated by that and be positive towards it. And those people will rise up and witness that success for themselves. And there's a certain population that will be negative towards it, that will critique it, that will poke fun at it and act negatively towards it. And those people will stay at the bottom forever. And that's just a full fact of life. And it's a very good interview, actually. I love watching old McGregor interviews. This was a long time ago, Las Vegas, UFC 189, I believe. But yeah, man, it's very true, bro. Very true what you said. Dixon saying it was supposed to be Mike Mallock season. Damn, I know, bro. It was supposed to be, but it wasn't. Who was first, Lucrative or Magic? First to do what? For me, it was Max betting Hardy upon her return, and everyone thought I was dumb. Great bet, bro. What was your source to get money to start betting initially? You don't want to know that, bro. The streets, bro. Brandon Van saying, got to take the bias out of it and what everyone else is saying and just look at it for what it is, and that's a fight. There we go. James, did Conor Burke shout you out on that Helwani show yet? I don't know. When is that show? Is it today? I don't know, bro. My family, uncles and shit talk down on it. I don't care anymore since I've grown past. Yeah, bro. There comes a point where you just don't give a shit, man. All right, next bet. And that's it. That's it. That was the bet. That I did bet more. Like, here we go. I bet on Drickers as well, so I'll address this one. So Strickland versus Duplessis. So at this point in the card, I'm up well over 100 grand, and I decided to place some bets before the fight, which I often do on a good night. If I'm really, really positive, if I've had a great night, sometimes I'll place more bets before the fight. Yes, you could say that that's minus EV because why didn't you place them before? I don't give a shit. At the end of the day, I can place more money down right before the fight, which is sometimes while I wait as well. And on top of that, if I'm having a good night, if I'm up fucking 20 units, I don't mind placing another 2 or 3 units. That's how I play, whatever. Some professional gambler who's 70 years old is going to say, that's not how you grow a bankroll. Shut up. I live my life the way I want. I've been successful so far. I'm going to keep doing what I do, right? So there we go. I played DDP because I thought he would win. I played him pre-fight, and then I bet him live many times too. I couldn't include all the bet slips, but here are some below. So 3 grand on Drickers before the fight, another 2 grand on Drickers, 250 on Drickers, 250 live. I bet him live plenty of times, guys. So 10.6K worth of bet slips here, but I actually won well over 15K on Drickers because I had way more of these live bet slips. I had plus 130, plus 120, plus 110. I actually put 4 grand on him at minus 330 to win like just over a grand. So I laid him minus 330. I think it was in the 4th round. I had him up 3 rounds to 1, and I thought he was going to win the 5th. So I thought he deserved to be way higher than minus 330. I thought he should have been like minus 600, 700. But I guess I was wrong because I had scored the rounds wrong. But yeah, maybe I wasn't watching. But anyway, he won the fight, which I believe he definitely deserved to. I have takeaways more for the career of DDP, right? This is a takeaway for you. It's just reconfirmation that if you can see the intricacies of fighting, then you can profit big. So just like I said earlier that I called Robert Whittaker past his prime and everyone went crazy because they can't see intricacies of fighting like I can. I profited on DDP after because Drickers Duplessis was plus 300 against Robert Whittaker. And I bet on him at 1, right? And that was based on the intricacies that I saw. And I've been betting on DDP a lot, or the under 2.5 rounds, which has burned me twice, which is crazy. I bet the under 2.5 rounds and Darren Till fight, and it missed by 13 seconds, which is hilarious. Probably one of the best bets I've ever made at like minus 140 or something. Anyway, I've bet DDP a lot on this journey, and the market has often disagreed. Thanks to the DDP once again. Drickers Duplessis, man. Oftentimes there's a market narrative, right? And the market narrative over Drickers Duplessis since he came in was that he's not a good fighter. He's got shit cardio. He's not very good. But I saw against that. I went against the market, and I've won tons of money against the market because of that. So that's it, man. That's basically the thread. As I mentioned, I won a lot more than is pictured. But X only allows me to post a small amount of photos and tweets, and my bet slips are scattered throughout tons of different accounts. As I've said, I'm not bothered to go through and screenshot every single bet for the sake of this thread. Like I said, guys, I have about 25 accounts I use, and I used about 6, 7, 8 accounts for UFC 297. Like I said, with the different regions and stuff, I ain't going to go through every single betting account and screenshot every single bet that I've made and post it up here. But I did want to clarify that because people are just stupid and they always ask for bet slips. And even though I've included hundreds here, people still chat shit after, which I knew they would. So I wanted to make it clear while I wasn't posting every single bet slip I made that evening. But yeah, pictured is 107K worth of bet slips. Those include the stakes though. So overall, it's around $80,000 profit pictured in these slips above. And that's it, man. It is profitable. It is possible to profit from sports betting. I've been doing it for the last 9 years. All of the bets pictured above were sent out to my members before the fights. If you want to get access to my bets for next time, then click the link below. You just click this link, boys. You come to my website, lucrativemmabetting.com. You can watch this video to see even more about me. But why even watch the video? You already know I'm legit. I've just showed you everything. You can look at all of this stuff here. You can look at this stuff. Lots and lots of proof here, evidence, whatever it is. Just click access the system, boys. It'll take you down. Sign up to one of these. The prices here I charge are absolute peanuts compared to what you will earn. You see a guy up here saying that he's paying off a $40,000 wedding just based on my tips alone. So $100 or so bucks a month is, yeah, I mean, it's not a lot of money, is it? But like I said, boys, we're cashing either way. I just won 130K, so I don't need you to sign up. That's up to you, man. If you want to join the team, you can. If not, good luck to you, boys. So that's it, man. I'm done now, boys. If there's anything you want to say before I get up here, please let me know. James, you know how people say buy low, sell high. If I sign up to your Discord now, would I be buying the top since it's your best cash thus far? Do I get in now or wait till you go on a losing streak? Definitely get in now. The reason is because buy low, sell high, that's for stocks. I ain't a stock. I'm just betting on each UFC card. We never know what UFC card is going to be massive. The last one was massive. The next one might be even bigger. We don't know. It's completely random. There is no buy low, sell high. It's purely random. So if you wait, you're probably going to miss out on another massive event. So there you go. Dixon's saying, James, you got to at least drop a discount code for us being here live. I do have a discount code. It is expired. But for everybody live here, I'm going to open up some more spaces. I'm going to do that right now. Where are we at? I'm going to do it right now, boys. I'm going to open up a discount code for you. And this is a huge discount, boys. This is a 40% discount on the elite membership. 40% is ridiculous, boys. It's way too much. Way too much. I genuinely only did a discount that big because, bro, the service is worth way more than that. The only reason I did a discount this big is because I won literally over $130,000. And I was like, I've won so much money. I'm feeling generous. I'll give people a big discount, one that I never really do. So so I only gave this to the first 20 people. We've already gone through 20 people, so I don't have any more spaces, but I'm going to give you more spaces right now. Okay, done. I've just opened up another 5 spaces. So for anybody in here that wants to sign up to my service, you can sign up to the Elite Zone and use this code, 100K discount, because I want 100K. And you'll get 40% off the first month of the Elite monthly. 40% a month for a year. Definitely not for a year. I'm not feeling that generous. That's insane. But you will get it for the first month. So you can try it out for a month and then cancel your membership. You don't have to sign up for a year. Try it out for a month. Cancel your membership if you don't like it. And you never have to sign up again. But you will like it. Okay, you sold me. Sweet, thank you. So that's it. Yeah, man. I'm one of likers. I got to get in. Yeah, so get this, 100K discount. You just go to the website. You sign up for the Elite Monthly package, which is right here. You just click select on Elite Monthly. And then when you go through, you just write the code. Enter a coupon code here. You enter the coupon code 100K discount, and that's it, boys. Do it in capital letters, but I don't even know if it matters, but do it anyway. And that's it, boys. I'm going to go now. Unless you got any questions, I'll dust out. Second event of the year, and it's a banger. I couldn't do it without your videos, my man. You're welcome, brother. You're welcome. That's it, boys. Hope you enjoyed the stream. I'll see you in the next one. We're going to make it a big year this year. I said last month that I'm going to earn $1 million from sports betting this year. And people thought I was crazy. People thought I was joking. People actually thought I was joking. They don't know the boy. They must not know the boy. I'm going to get that $1 million from sports betting this year. Believe that. I'm going to get more than $1 million. So let's try and do it together. Let's go, boys. Thanks for being here. Good luck on all your bets.